Hi, this is Corncod One of Nationalist News and Notes. I impulsively hopped in my car this past Friday night, and after a 10-hour drive, not including sleeping 3 hours at a rest stop, I arrived in Eagle Pass, Texas, on the Mexican border. This is the scene of the current standoff between the illegitimate Biden regime and the government and people of Texas, led by Abbott. Texas wants to take measures to stem the crushing tide of third world immigration, and the feds, in contravention to U.S. law, want an open border so they can add millions of to the welfare rolls and thence to Democratic voter rolls. It was an interesting trip. Eagle Pass is in a very isolated spot on the border. It's basically surrounded, at least on the American side, by a nearly uninhabited semi-desert area with scrubby, stunted trees. There were a lot of ranches eking out an existence on this moonscape. In the 100 miles surrounding the place, I drove through just two tiny settlements. Eagle Pass is an interesting place, a town of 28,000 population. Apart from two whites I spotted at a gas station on the outskirts of town, there were no white people in evidence. The town doesn't appear too impoverished, and there was an air of near prosperity. It's basically a Mexican town that happens to be on the wrong side of the border. When I pulled into Eagle Pass, Texas, and into the area near Shelby Park, where the Texas National Guard had erected concertina wire to keep the invaders out, I had expected a media circus and all sorts of activists, both left and right. What I found was one cameraman and one journalist at the gate to the park, and lots of guardsmen standing next to their vehicles. The place was pretty dead. Some nice elderly lady brought a couple of cases of bottled water for the National Guardsmen. I hung around for a half hour and thanked the soldiers on behalf of the grateful half of the nation, and headed back to the Deep South. Thinking about it, I should not have been surprised that nothing much was going on. The lack of media presence could be explained by the fact that the legacy media has been laying off thousands of people in the U.S. over the last couple years. Nobody watches this crap anymore because even simpletons know that they exist to spread system propaganda. Detailed coverage of the controversy is limited to the content creators on the web. Of course, we should take into account the late 19th century journalist Dr. Samuel Johnson, who basically said all journalists are lazy. The battle for the border and the restriction of immigration is the battle for the soul of our nation and its safety and security. We cannot lose this battle. This is Corncod One of Nationalist News and Notes, signing off.